Good Friday morning. Today is a special day for the incoming Ball State class. Find out more about Ball State's annual Student Admitted Day.
And economists are saying new tariffs may cost Americans big. Find out why.
And gas prices rose this past week, but that might not be a bad sign. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal weather.
From Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal weather, live from the Ball State Weather Center.
Good Friday morning to you. You're waking up with Cardinal weather. I'm Amelia Winter.
And I'm Andy Zelaya.
Today is Ball State's Annual Admitted Students Day. Each spring, Ball State invites all incoming freshmen to visit campus with their families. Students have the opportunity to interact with faculty and current students to explore their interests and make connections with others in their area of academic interest. Students will also get information that will help them take the next steps in their journey as a Cardinal. The event starts today at 8 a.m. and lasts until 4 p.m.
Signal Gate is about to enter a new chapter. The Defense Department announced it will review Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's use of Signal while discussing last month's military strikes in Yemen. Acting Inspector General Stephen Stevens wrote a letter to Hegseth saying the goal of this investigation will be to determine if Hegseth and others complied with protocol while using the commercial messaging app. This probe will also look into whether Hegseth was in line with classification requirements. Top officials previously said the information shared in those messages was not classified.
A nonpartisan group says the new tariffs President Trump announced Wednesday will cost the average American household $2,100 per year. America's average import tax will surge to 19% this year from 2.5% last year, the highest rate since 1933. Most mainstream economists agree the U.S. and global economies will go into a recession this year if Trump doesn't loosen up on his new trade policy. The administration is pushing back on those predictions. It says Trump's trade actions in his first term were widely predicted to slow the economy and make inflation spike, but neither happened. It's been 2 days since severe weather swept through much of central Indiana, and crews are still working to restore power to those affected.
Newslink Indiana Weather's Joe Sawicki went to find out more.
Thanks, guys. I am here at Westdale Middle High School in northwestern Delaware County, where a presumed tornado moved through yesterday. As you can see behind me, numerous emergency vehicles are in this area, and especially down the street, nearby Community Church, where a presumed tornado moved through yesterday. We saw numerous downed trees, siding off of houses, roofs off of houses from this presumed tornado yesterday, along with that heavy rainfall, heavy winds up to 80 miles per hour, and hail up to 3/4 of an inch that came through with these storms yesterday evening. Now, this has not been issued a rating by the National Weather Service yet, nor has it been confirmed. That's expected to happen within the next 24 hours, but we do have confirmed ratings on other tornadoes that came through Indiana. In Carmel, there was an EF1 tornado there in Hamilton County. And in Hendricks County in Brownsburg, there was an EF2 major tornado, but we are still waiting on that rating from the National Weather Service within the next 24 hours. As of Thursday evening, we are seeing still 15,000 customers in our viewing area without power, 4,000 of those in Delaware County, 10,000 of those without power in Madison County. But we are also tracking this flood threat throughout Sunday at 8 a.m. That's going to come with a lot of rain. We're going to see this weekend anywhere from 3 to 4 inches of rain. So what does that mean for us? That means if with the severe flooding possible, turn around, don't drown. If you cannot tell the depth of water on a roadway, turn around, do not risk it. Your car might stall out and it is not worth it. So we are tracking these tornadoes that moved through yesterday, possible tornadoes that moved through yesterday, and that flooding for the weekend. Thank you guys, back to the desk.
Coming up, see why gas prices are still on the rise.
That's after Your Weather Now.
Welcome back. Gas prices rose again this past week, and it was a bigger jump than the previous week. AAA says gasoline jumped by more than 10 cents to $3.26 a gallon this past week. It says refinery maintenance and the switch to a summer blend are among the factors driving the increase. The last time the national average for a gallon of regular gas was $3.26 was in September. AAA says that's consistent with seasonal shifts, and it says current prices remain below the levels seen this time last year.
A nuclear-powered rocket could cut travel time to Mars in half. That's according to British startup Pulsar Fusion, which has unveiled a space rocket concept called Sunbird. It's designed to meet a spacecraft in orbit, attach to it, and carry it to its destination at breakneck speed using nuclear fusion. They say the rocket can achieve speeds of up to 500,000 miles per hour. The fastest object ever built, NASA's Parker Solar Probe, peaked at 430,000 miles per hour. The project is in early stages of construction, but the company hopes to achieve nuclear fusion in orbit in 2027.
One American automaker is now offering employee pricing on many of its vehicles to all its customers in the United States. The new initiative from Ford went into effect Thursday and will run through June 2nd. It comes the day after President Donald Trump officially announced a 25% tariff on all imported vehicles. Ford says it is offering the deal amid the uncertainty many Americans have over how exactly the tariffs will impact them. The automaker does have exclusions to its offer. Specialty Mustang and Bronco vehicles, Raptors, as well as the 2025 Expedition and Navigator SUVs aren't eligible for employee pricing. Customers also won't be able to get the offer on Super Duty trucks.
Nintendo has unveiled the Switch 2. The original hybrid game console came out 8 years ago and was widely successful. With this sequel, Nintendo must prove it can follow one blockbuster hit with another. The Switch 2 will launch on June 5th for $450, which is quite a bit more than the first generation model's $300 price. In January, the video game company disclosed only the new console's design and compatibility with previous generation games. But on Wednesday, Nintendo revealed specific details about the Switch 2 for the first time, including specifics about hardware.
That is so cool. I'm glad they're coming out with a new one. That's so cool.
Yeah, very expensive though.
Yeah, very expensive. But we're going to have a look at the weather with Rachel.
Thank you so much. As we take a look at our current temperatures right now, we see that it is currently 46 here in Muncie, 44 in Kansas City, and 50 out west in LA. And for our highs, we are going to see high 50s in the Midwest today, and then high 50s as well in those central plain areas. But as we blast out west, we are going to see low 60s. And for our current watches and warnings, we are currently under a flood watch, which is what this dark green indicates. But down south, this sort of neon greenish color indicates that there is a flood warning driven by, as well as flash floods down in Kentucky. But just south in the Oklahoma region, this yellow means that there is severe thunderstorm watch, but these orange indicates severe thunderstorm warning. And just west of that in New Mexico, we see that there is a winter weather warning, and that is what that pink means, but this blue in northern Texas indicates that there is a winter weather watch. And just north of that in the Montana area, northern North Dakota, we see that there is a winter weather advisory bringing about snowfall. And taking a look at our radar, we see this severe thunderstorm watch as well as warnings here down in Oklahoma. And up north, we kind of see the snow making an appearance as well. And as we look at our precision cast, we sort of start to see moving into the evening today, we see more moisture, more cloud coverage moving into our area, bringing about that rainfall later tonight. And as we continue on into tomorrow, we see it continues to move and sort of starts to tighten up, and we see more snowfall out west as well. And then as we continue on with Saturday, we see it just continues to keep moving and moving throughout the south and into the Midwest. And then as we move into that evening time, we see it sort of starts to make a wrap up, and then into Sunday we see it sort of starts to move out of our area. And with all this rainfall coming, what do you guys think? Well, what do you guys think of it?
You know what they say, April showers bring May flowers, so I'm excited. Maybe the flowers will come after this.
No, I agree, but I would like some nice sunny days though. It's crazy that we got like that nice, beautiful, nice, warm, sunny day, and then a tornado warning the next day.
I know, yeah. Well, hopefully the weather isn't too bad. Yeah. But yes, well, thank you so much, Rachel. Coming up, find out how a pair of Ball State professors assist in NewsLink, Indiana.
That's after Your Weather Now.
Welcome back. The time is 8:12 and you're taking a live look at the site of the new Performing Arts Center. At Ball State University, NewsLink Indiana helps students to step into the world of news with hands-on experience. The leadership of 2 professors guides students on how to get the job done.
NewsLink's Mira Bloomer has the inside look on their teaching.
NewsLink Indiana is a student-run newscast, but behind the success are 2 professors. One professor who lives in the newsroom, helping students produce their show. Another professor who lives outside, camera in hand, and possibly even a drone. With decades of experience, they're not just advisors, but the foundation of the program.
I'm there when they need me. If they need to run something by me, if they want advice, if they want guidance on something, I'm also there to make sure that all the equipment's working.
While working closely with students to create a professional newscast 4 days a week, their role isn't just teaching the technical aspects, but also guiding students in every aspect of journalism.
Say it's like weightlifting. The more reps you do, the stronger you get. The more stories you tell, the more times you grab a camera, a microphone, or work at the switcher, or make phone calls on beat calls, anything. The more you do, the better you get, and your storytelling gets better too.
Showing students how to think on their feet and how to problem solve under pressure, all while making it look flawless.
And you can see the difference when students are in NewsLink. They are really career ready as soon as they graduate.
Dedicated to ensuring that NewsLink Indiana serves its local audience both on campus and in Delaware County.
For the community, they can go out and cover stories that maybe aren't getting covered otherwise, just by the nature of the business. And this is a real opportunity to really make their mark in Muncie and in Delaware County.
Preparing students to succeed not just in school, but in the professional industry.
So any other college graduate would have to get a job someplace else for 2 years before they could get a job at a higher market. And so our students start off ahead of their counterparts who didn't participate in NewsLink Indiana.
Live news is unpredictable, yet Terry and Tim keep it calm and collected.
To rush to get someone to the scene of whatever it is, but then you have to take a step back and say, okay, what's the big picture of how we need to handle this here? And so if I can kind of be that support, I guess is the best way of saying it, so I can just say, here's what you need to be thinking about right now.
With Tim and Terry's guidance, NewsLink Indiana isn't just about creating a student-led newscast, but about shaping the next generation of journalists through all forms of media. In Muncie, Mira Bloomer, NewsLink Indiana.
For more information about Newslink Indiana and how students can get involved, visit student media and organizations on the Ball State website.
Former Vice President Mike Pence is this year's recipient for the John F. Kennedy Profile Encourage Award. The John F. Kennedy Library Foundation made the announcement Thursday. The foundation said Pence is receiving the award for putting his life and career on the line and overseeing the certification of the 2020 presidential election results. Pence certified the election in the immediate aftermath of the attack on the U.S. Capitol, despite President Trump pressuring him to not certify the results. The foundation applauded Pence for upholding his oath to the Constitution and following his conscience.
A zoo in Spain is celebrating the healthy birth of a Malayan tapir cub. The birth is significant because the species is endangered. Only 25 have been born in zoos in the last decade, and this is the first in Spain. There are only about 2,500 Malayan tapirs left in the world. The zoo says the mother and cub will continue to stay quarantined indoors, but they are doing well so far. And I'm so glad they're doing well. And the weather's been so nice. We're going to see all these animals come out soon. It'll be great.
I hate to let you down on this one. The weather's not getting any nicer. We're in the mood for just a lot more rain. We're going to see that continue throughout this evening, actually. We're in a brief break right now, but we're going to head into these next couple of days. We're going to see this weather start to appear. Looking at Cooper Science right behind me, you can see right now, hey, mostly clear skies. You know, maybe we're in for a pleasant day. It's not going to stick around. We're going to time out some storms here in a moment in my forecast. Let's look at what our Cooper Science current conditions. Looking behind me, you can see 46 degrees right now outside, 38 our dew point, so a little bit moist, maybe feeling a little bit humid. 10 miles of visibility, nothing too crazy overall. Not these insane conditions that we've seen these last couple of days. Temperatures near 70 degrees. We're going to warm up a lot though. Let's look behind me at the radar. You can see rain in southern Indiana still ongoing at the moment. Some potential for some thunderstorms there too. We're going to get some of that this evening. Looking behind me at our radar. Just a little bit of cloud cover right now. Maybe if you're getting a scattered shower or two down towards our southern viewing area, down near Richmond and our overall southern counties. Let's take a look at our temperature change. We've cooled down a ton, minus 11 here in Muncie, down 11 degrees that is. The same in Shelbyville. Overall, we're just getting through this big cooling temperature drop over these next couple of days. I'm excited for that. And also, again, pretty moderate temperatures. 55 degrees will be our high for the day. 4 p.m., 5 p.m., all the way down to the evening. You're going to notice behind me, though, we're staying really, really warm this evening. I'm going to have a lot more to talk about that because that's going to be when our storms move in, keeping us in the rain and keeping us with showers. We're going to see some moderate gusts this evening, up to 25 miles per hour. Not going to be the end of the world here, but you are going to have to keep an eye out if you are going out later this evening. Let's talk more about tonight because that is when that rainfall is going to arrive. I expect showers to start around 4 p.m. today. Looking behind me, you can see chance of thunderstorms in that system going to continue on. 55 degrees at 11, 56 at 2 a.m., 58 at 5 a.m. We are just going to warm up this evening, keeping that, especially with all those thunderstorms and clouds, keeping a cap on the environment and keeping that warm air down near the ground near us. Again, watch out for those gusts too. If you do intend on going out at night at all, can't recommend it though with all of those showers and thunderstorms. Behind me, you can see that has led to a flood watch. 3 to 4 inches of rain likely with locally some higher amounts possible, especially around if you're near those rivers. That's really where you're going to want to watch out for that flooding. Behind me, you can see around the White River and to our north end near Rush County, the Mississinawa River, both have those flood warnings on them. Those will last through Tuesday. It takes a bit longer to get out of those showers to the water to drain from the river. You're going to see those thunderstorms continue on throughout the rest of the week. What you're really going to want to watch out for is over the weekend, those showers are just going to keep on going. So definitely try to stay safe if you're going anywhere.
Definitely. We'll bring an umbrella.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much, Ian. Coming up, get ready for this weekend's Final Four.
That's after your weather now.
Welcome back to Cardinal Weather. I'm Camden Jackson.
I'm Calvin Scott with sports. This is the second time ever that the Final Four has had all number one seeds. Here's what to look forward to.
So we have this weekend, we have the Final Four. We have Florida versus Auburn and Houston versus Duke. And these are going to be pretty great games considering that they're all number one seeds. So with Florida, we have Walter Clayton Jr., obviously a really great player. They're a really great team on a fast break. I think they have what it takes to take down Auburn.
Of course, and then we have Auburn coming in with Janai Broom. He missed those 2 games. He missed those 2 practices with that left elbow injury. I feel like them getting to the Final Four will really bring in the legacy. Bruce Pearl, they lost that game to Florida in the jungle in the beginning of the season. But, it all depends on Janai Broom and how they can get other guys involved.
Yeah, and like you said, Janai Broom is a really great player, National Player of the Year candidate. If he plays like advertised, he can definitely lead Auburn to the national championship.
Of course, and then we got our next game with Duke playing against Houston. Houston coming in led by Kelvin Sampson, and then players like L.J. Cryer and Milos Uzin. They're the number one defense coming into the Final Four against Duke with the number one offense. I feel like for Duke to win, they can't let the two-headed monster and Cooper Flag and Concanippo go off.
Yeah, and like he was saying with Duke, Duke is a really great team outside of Cooper Flag. Like Cooper Flag is obviously a really great player. But outside of him, they're a really deep team with players like Tyrese Proctor and Concanippo who can really knock down a 3 on any given night. Duke also has a really high assist-to-turnover ratio. They really know how to move the ball, and I think that Houston needs to sharpen up on defense and be able to stop them from moving the ball around so much.
And then for our picks for the Final Four, we have Duke and Auburn for me, and then for Camden, we have Houston and then Auburn.
So I have Houston and Auburn in the national championship game because Houston, obviously number one defense in the country. I think that if Houston can really stay sharp on D, stop Duke's high-powered offense, then they can really make it to the national championship.
Yeah, man. I mean, going into this whole thing, I had Duke winning it from the jump. Concanippo and then again with Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag is the best thing in college basketball. If he entered the draft right now, he could honestly be an all-star. So, with that two-head monster along with Tyrese Proctor and their role players, I believe they definitely can make a run to help the legacy of the brotherhood that is Duke University and then take John Shire, head coach John Shire, to that next level up with Coach Mike Krzyzewski.
And then I also have Auburn going to national championship. And, I have Auburn going to national championship because on paper, they are the best team in the tournament. They're the number one overall seed for a reason. They're a really great rebounding team. They do all the fundamentals perfectly. If they can continue to work on the fundamentals, they can make it and win the national championship. Coming up, checking out our breakdown of tornado formation with this morning's Breaking Down the Science. That's after your weather now.
Welcome back. Now we are going to be breaking down the science with Elizabeth.
a tornado. But if it does not touch the ground, that is not the tornado. I've drawn out this diagram here to show you just how this tornado does form. So we have the cold air in blue, and you can see that going downward, and that warm air is going upward where the cold and the warm air are meeting together, forming that tunnel, making the tornado happen. Hail and rain is also in the mix, and that strong wind as well. And as we also have, tornado winds are tracked by enhanced Fujita scale, which is that EF, also known as, and the EF0 is the weakest, and the EF5 is the most destructive. So some facts about tornadoes are the most common season for tornadoes is actually the spring, which we're currently in, and then in the summer. So we want to watch out for that. Those wind speeds can range from 65 to 200 miles an hour, 65 being that EF0, and 200 being that EF5, which is that most destructive, where you'll see possible damage to houses, trees falling, power lines down. These can last less than 10 minutes up to an hour long. Note that tornadoes can change direction quickly, so it's always good to be weather aware, whether you're watching the radar, your phone, always keeping track of that, your safety. Some shelter tips for you during this tornado season would be going to the lowest floor, whether that's a basement or a windowless room, like an interior room, such as a room, like a closet or a pantry. Make sure you cover yourself with a blanket or a pillow. And also, if you're driving outside, make sure that you are laying down in a ditch, a low-lying ditch, and cover your head. Make sure you're staying weather aware during this tornado season. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now we are going to have one final look at your weather with Ian.
Yeah, so we are talking about a lot more rain this Sunday morning. We're going to want to watch out if you're going anywhere in low-lying areas, floodplains. That's where you're going to really be worried about this flooding. Now, if we're looking at the couple days outside of that,
go on to Saturday, Sunday. Finally start to taper off. Once we get to Tuesday, we'll actually see clear skies that day. A great break, 43 degrees,
great day overall. Then we're right back to it. Wednesday, 53 degrees, 60% chance of showers is what I have that day. Overnight into Thursday too. Overall, just a really rainy week where you're going to want to stay cautious if you're on the roads.
Yeah. Yeah, it would just rain all week, but it's okay. We'll have our umbrellas ready. We'll be weather aware.
Yeah, at least we get a break on Tuesday. Yeah. We get one break, which is very nice, but it's like, it's how they get you, right? It's they like tease you a little bit of just like, yeah, and then right back into it.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Ian. That's all for Cardinal Weather this Friday morning. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your Friday and a fantastic weekend.